Yo, my people, what's going on in the Bitcoin market, in the crypto market? The whole crypto sphere has taken a massive dump. And the question is why? What happened? What triggered this dump? In this video, we will go through the reason to this dump happening and will it continue? Is it time to sell hodlers? Is it time to give up? Well, in this video, we will find out. I'm Jeremy from RFG Free Minds. Welcome to the block. So what we see in this market is this. We're looking on the weekly time frame right now. And we're going to start from the weekly time frame because we just had this drop from about 39.40 USD till about 36 USD, 36,000 USD. So where are we at? First, that's the first thing we want to check. Where are we at? We are at a point. We took the Fibonacci now and pulled it from the low, from the major low that was the lowest low to highest high, which is in November 2021, and that was also the last major high. And what we see when we do that is we see that we just touched the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot. The sweet spot is between 50% and 61.8% Fibonacci retracement, or retracement just in general. That's where you find the sweet spot. What is the sweet spot? The sweet spot is a zone where people very often sell off or buy, accumulate. And it's not so much people, retail traders, as it is institutions and most of all bots, because you got to understand there's a lot of bots out there trading, and they're trading big amounts, like billions basically. So they move a lot of volume, and what happens is that these bots get triggered by certain levels, confirmations in the market, and some of those levels are, for example, the sweet spot that we're looking at now. And the other one is the demand and supply zone, which is very, very important. And I have gone through it several times before. I'm gonna bring it up quickly now also. This is the demand and supply zone. In this case, because we're pulling the Fibonacci from bottom to the top, this is the demand zone. It means there's a lot of demand down here between 11,000 and 18,000 USD for our Bitcoin. So if I remove the Fibonacci and just keep the lines, then you see we got the demand zone here, we got the sweet spot here, right? We just entered the sweet spot. Okay, with that known, we're gonna do something else. With that known, we're gonna pull another Fibonacci out, and we're gonna take it from the recent major low, which is here. Boom. We're gonna pull it up all the way. I'm taking the bottom from the lowest candle with the lowest wick. All right, and pulling it to the highest candle with the highest wick. When we do that, we see a very nice correlation. So what we see here now is that Bitcoin has reached the demand zone of this recent major swing. This recent major swing that occurred from July, the summer of 21, that we remember after that major dip we had from March 21 to July 21. We had a major dip, and that thing reversed in July and started to move very aggressively up. And that's what we see here, right? So when we measure that whole swing, what we see then is that we are in the demand zone of it, right? So we're gonna mark that demand zone out just like this. We're gonna remove the Fibonacci so that we can see clear. Always try to keep your charts as clean as possible. Makes it easier for you to see. It removes all the FUD and that kind of blocks your vision and your view of what's going on in the charts, right? Because the charts always tell you a story. They're always telling you something. They're explaining something, and sometimes it can be difficult to understand what the charts be telling you when you got a lot of FUD in the way. Even though it's analytic tools that will help you understand what's going on in the charts, sometimes it's better just to clean out everything, keep it as clean and simple as possible. It will make you see things better. All right, so looking at this, what we see is that right now we have reached the sweet spot from this big swing from bottom here, about 3,800 USD for Bitcoin, sweet times, until we reach the top all-time high at about 69,000 USD for Bitcoin. All right, so we have the sweet spot and we have the demand zone correlating very nice. And what we see is the market has come down and tipped its toe inside the sweet spot. Like it has tipped its toe to pick up some supply. And we are currently in the supply zone, in the demand zone, in the demand zone of Bitcoin. Now, this is very important. This is very important to understand like where we're at. We are at a accumulation point. We are at an accumulation zone. This accumulation zone ranges all the way from 37,900 USD for Bitcoin all the way down to 28,700. And I've been saying this a long time. I can see Bitcoin come down all the way to 27,000, and this is the reason why. So let's say we touch the bottom of the sweet spot zone, like we see, like this is also important to see and acknowledge that in the sweet spot, and look, I can't make this up. Look how nicely the market respects the zone here, how it touches the bottom of the zone and goes back up. Like, look at this. I can't make this up. This is why I use Fibonacci. It can be so accurate. You cannot totally rely on Fibonacci. You cannot place a trade based just on Fibonacci. Fibonacci is a great confirmation tool, analyzing tool, but it's not everything you need to do a TEA, technical chart analysis, and set a trade, find entry points and so on. All right, so now when we know where we're at, we know we got this big zone from 37,800 USD for Bitcoin until 28,700 USD for Bitcoin. That's a big gap. Yeah, I get it. And that gap that's a big zone. All right, now when we know this, now we're trying to figure out more accurately where Bitcoin and like where the bottom is. Nobody knows where the bottom is. Remember this. What I'm doing now is just speculating, like approximately where we can find the bottom, right? So nobody knows where the bottom is. So what I'm saying now is not financial advice, and is definitely not a recommendation for you to enter at that point. Don't place any buy limits or anything at that point. All right. So first off, like the lowest bottom I see is of course this point here, like this bottom here, the bottom from this low to here. This is like the lowest point I can see Bitcoin going to. If it continues to drop, I don't see it going below this point. All right, so that's the lowest point. We are see a Bitcoin heading right now is, let's go down to the daily time frame. We're gonna pull Fibonacci from the candle that closed the lowest, open the lowest with the lowest wick. So we down here at that swing because we want to measure this swing, right? So this is the swing, and we pull the Fibonacci all the way to the highest candle with the highest wick. That's that one. And what we then see is, okay, so you see how well the market, Bitcoin, the price has respected the demand zone right here. You even see how it came below and then to this big demand zone that we measured up just recently, and came back up and touched the top of this demand zone to swing back down and come to this big liquidity zone, this big sweet spot zone that we got down here, right? So what I see now, the first step, I see Bitcoin dropping down to the 27.2 extension, Fibonacci extension. I see Bitcoin dropping down to this level, and that's about 35,000, 34,700, something like that. I see Bitcoin hitting that point, but if we hit that point, don't think that just because of that we will see something like this. No. It's a high probability that we will see Bitcoin go all the way down to, like I said before, 29,000, about 29,000 USD. Very high probability. Be ready for that. So, with that said, what do? Do we sell Bitcoin? Hodlers, do we give up? No, most definitely not. This is the time, more sure than ever, where you gotta hold or you're DCAing in, you're buying in, because this is the time, like we are very close at an ultimate bottom for this cycle, so to say. We are very close at the reaching that bottom. And how we know that? How we know that we're very close to that bottom is because we see adoption grow. We see like the adoption is growing massively. Like if we wouldn't see all these institutions accumulating Bitcoin, accumulating, trust me when I say we would see a Bitcoin right now at about 15,000, 10,000 USD. That's where we would have been at, because retail traders have, I don't want to say abandoned Bitcoin, but a lot of them has left the scene. You know, they have hopped off the train, and they will hop on again in FOMO when we see things moving up again, right? And we got some clever, good retail traders that actually sold at the right moment and not just waiting for the buying opportunity again. So when is the buying opportunity? If you're sitting on cash, you want to buy into Bitcoin, what I'm saying is, and that's the best advice I can ever give you, DCA in. Like, start accumulating, because we don't know if this was the lowest we're gonna get at the swing, or if we're getting lower, as we talked about before. So DCA in, so you get an average at about 37,000, and buying average at about 38,000. If you get it for at that level, you're good, because we're gonna see 100,000 Bitcoin. We're gonna see a 200,000 Bitcoin. We're gonna see a $500,000 USD Bitcoin. The question is just when. So as long as you're patient, you huddle, you will see it, you will get it. All right. So what was the reason for this big drop off? Okay. So first we had a Fed meeting. Paul announced that the rates are being set to 50 basis points, which was expected. If it would have been higher than that, we will see a massive drop off. If it would have been lower than that, we will see a massive gain in the market. We're not just talking about the crypto market, but the markets in general, like the especially the US market, the US stock markets, bond markets, everything. So some of the reasons that caused this drop is, first reason, Bank of England announces that the UK inflation is at above 10%. Same thing with Tokyo, highest inflation in a decade. Germany, highest inflation in 4 decades. The inflation here in the European Union is higher than the US, and that's like the first time it happens. So there's a lot of inflation warnings in the world, not just the US. And in the same time, what happens to DXY, the dollar index? It starts to pump. Why was it pumping? It was pumping because of the news of Bank of England, Tokyo, Germany, EU, and all of that. So the DXY doesn't just show the dollar being stronger, because the dollar ain't getting stronger. It's dropping in value. The only problem is that the currencies it's being compared to is dropping more in value, and that's why it looks like the dollar is moving up. Right? And in the same time, CNBC News reports that e-commerce has gone down because of consumers pulling back. And that's like an indicator showing the markets in general that like there's less consumers out there. Like consumers are getting more strict with their money. They ain't spending as much anymore, which puts in fear in the markets. Because if people don't want to spend, that doesn't mean like they ain't gonna get more willing to start investing in risky assets. But at the same time, we have so much bullish news, like the Luna Foundation Guard, they just purchased additional amount of 38,000 BTC. 38,000 BTC, that's a lot. They did it to back up their stable coin, Terra Luna, and their goal is to have 10 billion worth of BTC. Right now they have 3.5 billion USD in BTC, right? But with such a major news, like, why didn't the Bitcoin price shoot up again? Because this trade happened over the counter. What does that mean that it happened over the counter? It means that you and me trading directly peer to peer. It means like your Bitcoin supply is going down, mine is going up. And that's what happened in this case. We got bullish news. Gucci will accept Bitcoin in different stores. According to Glassnode, the BTC addresses with non-zero balances that are doing transactions keeps on increasing. El Salvador uses Bitcoin. Panama is bringing it in. Central Republic of Africa is bringing it in. Nigeria is talking about it. We got institutions accumulating. The BTC supply, Ethereum supply at the exchanges keeps on decreasing. It keeps flowing out to the wallets. So it's just so much bullish power and force out there for Bitcoin. And that's actually what holding it. Like I said before, that's what holding it at this level that we see right now. That's the reason to why we haven't dropped lower than we are right now. As I said, major possibility that we drop all the way down to 29,000 USD, but I can't see us go lower than that. Most definitely not. And when that happens, don't miss the opportunity to buy BTC at its lowest that is going to be maybe for our future, for our coming future, right? So with that said, we didn't do much TA today. It's more fundamentals. Appreciate y'all listening. If you like the content, if you feel that you got some value out of this, please like, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments below, leave comments on videos that you want to see. And with that said, I wish y'all a blessed day. Trade safe. Peace out.